the Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Three boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Basquel with the... Oh, fuck. Oh, God, I did it again. I'm going to start over.
It's all good.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Three boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Basquel, an evil queen with a handy little box just for hearts.
And I am John Gilardi, a deer with big-ass eyes.
And I'm Christian Ames and didn't know that Snow White and Sleeping Beauty were completely different stories.
That's right. That's great. Because this week we're going to be talking about Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
But wait, why are you talking about that movie?
Wait.
What's your answer? On the spot. Why did we choose this?
Oh, because it's Disney. Why did we choose it?
Well, I think it's just a pretty historic film. It's the first feature-length animation. It set off the trajectory and everything we know it today as Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, so many things trace back to this, so it's a pretty significant film. And at me personally watching it, I probably had seen it as a small child, but this was my first time watching it consciously. It felt like I was watching a historical thing. Like I felt like I was watching I don't know, I just feel like I was watching history. I guess I don't know how to put it.
Yeah,
more eloquently.
Dude, this came out in 1937.
I couldn't believe that.
And
yeah.
When I read that, I got super like existential because that's like almost a century ago, like coming up on a century ago.
It's fucking wild.
And it just like I got super existential, thinking like, holy shit, like this happened almost 100 years ago. It's crazy how small that is on the timeline of humanity and life in general and the universe. And I just got super existential for like 10 minutes when I read that it was made in 1937. It's just blew my mind.
I really liked rewatching it because it was like I felt the warmth of them. I don't know. It's weird to say that I could feel them drawing it. Like you can feel the texture of it. That's something that I kept going back to. It's like, oh man, I could really feel. And it was just wild to me because there's so many like modern techniques that they use in the filming of it, or just like the camera movements that I take for granted. And I'm like, holy shit, they had to like draw those and manipulate. Like I tried to dig into the top down thing a little bit to try and like
with like the layered landscape.
Because I don't think I ever understood how that was. And I was like, that's fucking wild. Just it baffled me again that it was made in 1937 because I was like, this looks like it's, I don't know. It did not look
Dude,
like
so
that
wild
old
to me. It looks rotoscoped in a way.
Yeah, her space.
Yeah, like the way she moves through space, the way her arms move, it looks rotoscoped. And for those that don't know, rotoscoping is essentially painting over frames of live action footage. So it's kind of, and it's animation in a sense, but it has this really kind of lifelike motion feel to it. It's hard to explain rotoscoping.
Dude, it's kind of like motion tracking, like body motion tracking in like video games. It looked their motions looked so real. At least for obviously not the dwarves, they were cartoony as hell, but like the quote unquote real people, like the prince, Snow White, the queen, their motions were so like just human.
Yeah.
They looked so realistic.
And
like
that
just
was-
the perspectives and everything.
I do know that they had a 14-year-old actress. Snow White's 14 years old, so I guess they kind of got someone with that size, that body type, and to be faithful to that. But they recorded reference stuff of her dancing and doing this stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they were pulling from that, but it wasn't painted over. So it's like,
okay. That's
but
still
it's
impressive.
interesting though, and I mean, obviously that's part of why it feels so lifelike, because they were copying real movements of a human. Also, fun fact: one of the lead animators was courting this 14-year-old, and I think they married when she was 17 and he was 29.
Oh.
So,
Oh, dude, that's so romantic.
Is
That's
it?
like
Yeah.
the perfect. That's the perfect love story.
Just like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Let me hit you with a synopsis real quick. The evil queen likes how pretty she is, and she checks her magic mirror every day. Also, her first line is "slave in the magic mirror," which is just right there. It's right out there. There we are. So she checks her magic mirror every day to make sure she is as hot as she thinks she is. One day the mirror is like, "Nope, you're not. There's another," and the queen is pissed. So she tells the huntsman to take the girl in the woods and kill her. The huntsman can't do it, and she runs away. And then she meets some dwarves, and stuff happens, and the evil queen plots her revenge.
So this all
or
happens
less.
because a slave in a mirror is a pedophile and thinks a 14-year-old is hotter than a queen who is way hotter.
Yeah.
The queen's hot, dude.
The
And
queen is-
also to
the-
flip it, this movie is about a petty ass bitch who can't take it that her stepdaughter is becoming more beautiful
Her stepdaughter, who doesn't even have
she
a
is.
claim on the throne. It's like, bitch, get out of here with this mess. Like,
It's just
Well-
such a petty story, but it also makes the fairy tale simplicity of it charming, I guess. But it's just funny when you step back.
yeah.
Gentlemen, this comes from a simpler time when women didn't have to go to work. Women were just expected to stay home and pretty the house and cook for the husband and pretty themselves.
Is that Andrew
Simpler
Ryan
time
or
when
Walt
all
Disney?
that a woman was objective beauty, which of course we all here agree on the podcast. All a woman is her beauty.
We do
That
not.
is all she measures up to.
We do not all agree. Andrew Ryan, please go back. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back to
No,
the
we
sea.
all agree that a woman is
No!
nothing but the measure of her beauty, and that is it, and how much housework she can do without being told. That is
Well,
what
the,
we
Back to the
agree.
sea with you, Andrew.
Something that I thought was interesting is in old movie fashion, it had the credits beforehand with like that overture,
Like a play.
with the graphics, and it showed all the animators, but it didn't show any of the colorists or inkers. I don't know I forgot what they're called.
Ink eye.
But
Oh.
it
I
was
didn't
all
notice that.
women. It was an all women team, and they were they did all the colors. So everything you see that's like colors and painting is done by a team of like women exclusively, who also worked in a segregated, off the side part of the office. But they did
weren't
such
credited.
a huge part of the animation, and they weren't at the beginning. They weren't credited.
Weren't credited at the beginning, yeah.
So I know you're
Damn,
being
dude.
facetious, Christian, but it's also like,
Yeah,
there's
just to be
different
clear, that
times.
was a total bit I was doing, but holy shit. Because I was going to say, it was, at the beginning, there's this little text from Walt Disney that I actually thought was kind of nice, because he says, it was like what did it say? Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this without the work from the dedicated staff and the team here at Disney. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Because going into this, I was expecting to see a lot more, like, offensive stereotypes, just to give some punches at Disney, but I was like, oh, that's nice. Look at him giving credit to his team. But I did not know that it was a mainly woman team that was doing the coloring.
Huh.
Well,
I didn't know that
He
either.
kind of had to, as a whole, credit them because I think they were working 7-day weeks. Sorry, not 7 hour, 7-day weeks for a while. Just major crunch.
Damn.
Dude, I was gonna relate this back to like Rockstar, the game development
It's very
company.
similar.
Yeah, because dude, back then, it was a different time, different era. I could only imagine with the quality of the animation in this movie, they must have been busting their asses.
Well, it took them like
Yeah.
2 years, not 200 years, but but the budget initially, like the budget when they started was like $250,000, which at the time in 1935, I guess when they started, that's a lot of money as it is, and then it ballooned up to like $1.5 million, and so I was like,
Jeez.
holy shit,
Holy
that's,
shit.
that's
What
a
is
lot of
the,
time for 1935.
What's the
Yeah.
inflation?
Gotta be pretty big.
But I mean, that tracks too with how they make animated movies nowadays, where it's like it takes years and years and hundreds of millions of dollars to make the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that my
And
biggest
the
takeaway.
exploitation of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Things
yeah.
haven't changed.
Which also kind of
yeah, I
goes.
guess
Everyone's
the-
like, just make it animated. That's easier. And it's like, bruh, nah.
I mean,
Not
it is in the
necessarily.
sense that like you're not limited by physical things. Especially like I think anime does it great because they're not intricate animations. They do get intricate, but as a whole, they can tell a lot more with a lot less.
I mean, I'd
Work
say
and
that's like
movement.
I'd say that's like a positive and a negative, where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's a positive because you're not limited by realistic, like, can't throw someone off a building like the right whatever, but it's like you can in animation, and you can have them turn into a dragon, and you can have them do whatever you want, but then that also
Yeah, I
is,
mean, like limitations also do breed creativity. So,
That is true.
but I guess one last touch on the behind the scenes of the film. But apparently, with all the work that they were put through, they didn't get. I don't think they got a bonus. I think they're expecting a 3-month pay advance, like bonus kind of thing. And I guess Walt Disney, at this big party he threw, announced like, "Hey, let's get ready and let's work. Let's get ready to make Pinocchio
Let's
and
go."
whatever's next." And so everyone that night at this party at this hotel he threw were just like, "Well, okay," and they just went to town and like drank everything they could out of the bar and like just crazy stuff. Like it was essentially like a crazy ass frat party, but in like 1937.
Oof.
And I guess
Dude, I
one
bet-
guy was riding a horse through the hotel lobby and rode the horse through the second story out into and landed in a bush. And like,
Wait, what?
this is all real.
He rode
uh,
out the horse out of the second story?
Yeah.
Did the horse live?
I think the horse is fine. I think the horse stopped because I was like, "Are you crazy?" And then the guy flew out.
Oh, dude, I
Um,
bet they partied
but-
so hard back then.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean,
fucking hard.
I'm getting most of this information from a video and a channel I really like to follow called Defunct Land, and he covers this whole kind of production and what happens after Snow White, and it's fascinating. And you guys should go watch it.
Okay.
Listeners and you guys as well, because it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy stuff. I mean, Disney history in general is just fascinating because he's essentially Andrew Ryan, coming from a video game nerd perspective. Like there is a real Andrew Ryan, and his name is Walt Disney.
Walt
Well,
Disney.
that's the thing. The reason I didn't give my employees this is Walt Disney speaking, by the way. The reason I didn't give my employees a bonus for their hard and dedicated work on Snow White is because I gave them that party, and that party was all they needed to exuberate themselves.
the sweat of a
from
man's
the-
brow.
Exuberate? What is
Exuberant.
exuberate?
I don't know.
I
What
don't
word
think
you're looking for.
exuberate is a
I'm-
word.
I'm cutting the
Exonerate?
bit. I'm cutting the
Definitely
bit.
not the right word, but
The point is, Walt Disney decided I'm not going to give them their their bonuses. I'm just going to give them a party. Good
Yeah.
guy. Good guy.
No money, but yes, party.
so what do you guys think about this movie? What are your impressions? Let's talk movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk Snow White.
Let's talk
Dude,
Snow
Think of the
White.
I mean,
story.
My biggest takeaway, we've already talked about it, was just how incredible the animation was.
Yeah.
That was really my biggest takeaway. Other than that, I mean, it's just
And that you think
it's a
the,
hollow shell
The
of a
Queen
story.
is hotter.
The queen is
Also-
hot.
Oh yeah, I
Probably.
mean objectively, if you think Snow White's hotter, I'm sorry, you're gonna get a visit from Chris Hansen.
I mean, she's 14. Let's,
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the animation was impeccable, especially for 1937, like pre-World War II, dude. That's nuts. That's freaking insane.
It's like this. This movie by itself advanced animation, like
Yeah.
leaps and bounds. It's like that's something I was like, man, this movie, you know, it's simple. It's a kids movie, more or less, but it's like it looks so good, and I think that like because it was the first of its kind, you know, it's better than some of the other ones, just because of how much effort I'm sure that they put into it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's like they were figuring out things along the way. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, finding techniques and optimizing concepts and just ways of doing things. I guess where, you know, in theory, subsequent animations and films, they're just using these things that they already have created. You know, so this just by virtue of being the first has a lot of innovation around its creation. Probably.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember which one of you said it. Already can't remember. But you could feel the effort that was being put into the animation. There was like a real personal touch to all the drawings.
Yeah.
There's like, it was beautiful.
It definitely has a different texture. Like I feel like that's the thing is like the way that the world feels and like the stuff that they had to do to get the shadows right and to get people to move. Like, and I was like, look, it's like, do their mouths move better than they do now? Because like sometimes, like you could see the lips and shaping and moving the words. I felt like, whereas like now sometimes like if you go back and watch Shrek, it's like the mouth barely is like the mouth is moving up and down. It doesn't like form and shape with the words sometimes. Like, did they have it?
Shrek shout out.
Yeah.
For the Shrek people out there.
Yeah, where you at, guys? Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
It did. Watching this film for all these reasons made me want to watch subsequent Disney films.
Yeah.
Just to see the progression, and to see, I don't know, to see maybe does this have more of that care and charm and innovation behind it, and does that disappear? I don't know, but it did make me want to just watch all the early animation Disney stuff.
Well, I'm pretty sure
because the fact that this is so old is so mind-boggling, and it's such a fun thing on the side to know in the back of your head as you're watching it. Especially to think of, like, imagine people back then when they saw it.
Oh my god!
I mean, they had seen animations before,
but never
like
fucking like
it's
this.
just like,
you go in there the first time.
Maybe just like it was like when Toy Story 3 came. Not Toy Story 3. The first Toy Story came out. You know, something similar.
That's kind of like one of my thoughts.
Sound had
like,
only been in movies for 5 to 7 years till that point. Too.
Yeah.
So it's like just to contextualize it, how early in cinema this still is.
Yeah.
So cool.
And it's funny,
Dude,
too, because Dopey is, like, that transition character. And you see that a lot in, like, early talkies, you know? And like, that time where it's, like, you have, like, sort of the throwback character to, like, kind of ease people in to the thing. Like, you have Zippo Marx and, like, Buster Keaton and stuff doing their physical comedy bits within this, like, talked world. And, like, you have Dopey do that, where he doesn't really say anything ever, except for when he screams. When he gets hit in the head, I think. But he doesn't ever talk. He's like that silent character with the transition from the previous age.
There's certain angles of Dopey, and I thought he looked a lot like Cameron Diaz. It was a really weird thought, but like, if you watch it, you might see it. It's really weird. Yeah, it's so random. But if
I
you
think
got
you
the
have a
footage in
warped
the background-
perspective of Cameron Diaz.
No,
there,
I
dude.
said it, and my girlfriend even was like, I think it was like insinuating, like I think I'm picking up what you're saying.
I think I understand what you mean, because it's got kind of like that squashed, expressive face.
Yeah.
What?
But it's like kind of listen. Maybe
that is so offensive.
No,
that is so.
Maybe
offensive.
I think Dopey is hot. I'm pulling up
All
a
right.
picture right now. Maybe
All right.
I've got a weird fetish about Dopey. I see it. Oh, that's something in my notes that I saw. Is like all these dwarves have fucking immaculate eyelashes. They have gorgeous fucking eyelashes, and they have.
I did not notice that.
Go back.
I think it must be to make them like approachable. I did notice at least 3 or 4 of them have very pronounced eyelashes.
They all have eyelashes because they all do like doe eyes and stuff. They all have like. I think I see what you're saying, John. I think,
Dude, the fucking dwarves are such incels. I felt so bad for them. I wanted to call this movie Snow White and the 14 Blue Balls.
Oh,
those guys got friend zoned so hard.
Well,
I don't know if
there was a
incel is
scene.
the best
There was
one,
a
but
scene.
there may
Well,
be-
yeah, maybe not incels, because incel evokes the image of a school
Also,
shooter. But
maybe they're all doing each other. Maybe they don't
That
want any
could be.
part of Snow White, And they're like,
That's-
you can go off with random dude on a horse.
You know
There's
what?
gotta
That's
be
a good
version
point.
of this where the dwarves are evil men, and this naive girl just gets
Oh boy.
And they were so
We know where
murdered
that
by
goes.
them or something.
Oh, okay. That was a different place.
Yeah, I took it there.
Thank you.
instead.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're talking around.
They were good.
Yeah, I have a
dwarves.
few notes, quick observations,
Throw.
I guess, and see where those branch off.
Yeah.
Give them.
So those birds are definitely the inspiration for Twitter. Just the little thing I
Oh.
noticed there. Same exact color, same shape. The subtitles. I mean, this is arbitrary, but the subtitles say twittering when they're making noises. But I just thought that was interesting. And then let's see. I guess so. Another thing is, like, it felt like a showcase
Yeah.
of animation. We could say it's a fairy tale, so that's why it's simple. But I almost battle on the other side of my brain that, like, this is such a simple movie because it's just a tech demo, essentially. An hour and a half long
Ooh.
tech demo of, like, showing animation off and what it can do.
Huh.
So I don't know. In my head, I was balancing those two kind of angles on what this movie
I mean,
is and where it stands.
that tracks with who Walt Disney was, you know? Like, I can totally imagine him in a world where it's like, all right, there's this new stuff that I want to try out. We've developed all these technologies for Steamboat Willie, and let's see if we can take them into the big, like, let's kind of market test this and kind of show everybody what the fuck we're doing here at Disney Studios. We're bringing it to you guys.
That's what
And
he said in
see,
the
that was
boardroom.
part of my plan. That's why I made Snow White such a one-dimensional character, because it wasn't about my misogyny. It wasn't about feminism. It wasn't about making a statement about how women should stay home and clean the house and do the dishes. It was about the technology. And I showed it to you, and you ate it up, and you loved it, and you applauded it. All right, cutting Walt there. No,
Get
that's
out.
a good point. That's a really good point. I did not think about that once, but it really was. It was like a showcase for, hey, here's what we can do. You can't wait for what's to come.
I mean, that's such a Walt Disney thing, you know. Like he had TV deals where he would have, like, leading up to Disneyland, he had a TV show where he would show Disneyland's production and how it's being built up. So, like, the fact that he's there literally demonstrating the technological things they're doing, it checks out. So, I mean, it would make sense that this final product here kind of has that energy around it.
I mean, we're glad that I think we should be glad that Walt Disney wanted to make a lot of money. Oh.
Got doggo?
Yeah. He's upset. He's upset that they were besmirching the name of Walt Disney, his patron saint. My dog's patron saint is Walt Disney. But imagine if Walt Disney was like a bad guy instead and used his powers for evil more.
Could have been the first supervillain.
Yeah. Who's to say he's not still? Like, he's just
Apparently
biding his time.
Yeah, well, maybe he is frozen somewhere. But apparently he, after a few of these films, in between, essentially like their first couple hits and Disneyland, he just kind of was aimless, and he would just build trains and go on train rides. It's just a funny little, like, Disney anecdote how he just kind of, like, got bored and just make, like, 1/5 replica scale trains and ride them around his house.
What a man.
Kinda,
That's
I don't
interesting.
know. Like, it's also like another thing, like Andrew Ryan, but then I don't know. More recently, hate to bring up Ready Player One, but the Halliday character and, like, the kind of, like, obsession and almost worship of the things that come from him and the things that inspired him.
And he got bored with it.
Well, no, just the fact that Disney is also that real life kind of character and idol.
Oh yeah.
In essence,
There's
It's
there's
just,
a lot of contemporary figures or literature, or, cinematic figures that are based off of Walt Disney.
Elon Musk
Dude's
is based
iconic.
off of Walt Disney.
Oh, for sure.
In the
I mean, they're
I mean,
they're
Elon Musk is
innovators.
next. Can you
They're
imagine
brilliant.
in 20
They
or
both
40
hate
years?
Jews. That was a joke.
Sorry.
That was a joke.
Which
Yeah, well,
Except
I mean,
for Walt
he's-
Disney, that's not a joke.
historically anti-Semitic?
Yeah,
religious?
yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
dude,
I've
super
only heard the
anti-Semitic.
jokes.
Super
Okay.
anti-Semitic and
I
racist.
also, yeah.
But we're willing to let it fly because he
Song
was
of
an
the South?
innovator.
I don't know. I'm curious if that would be an interesting thing to watch.
I don't know
half.
if they let you get it. You'd have to
Yeah, we would have to
find
try
it.
really hard to find it.
It's so funny. That was one of my audition songs. Was the Zippity Doo Dah song, and
Really?
yeah, that was one of my like audition songs that like as like a child that my dad taught me, and I don't really I
Can
don't
we
know
get a
why.
little rendition?
It's zippity doo dah, zippity day. My oh my, what a wonderful day.
Ooh,
I think like
that.
it's just like I think like any kid can hear that and that's like, oh, that's catchy and fun.
Yeah.
And I like saying those words. I like saying
Mr.
zippity.
Bluebird's
Dude,
on my
okay,
shoulders.
Dude, getting back to the movie, when I heard the Hi-Ho song,
Oh, dude.
nostalgia blast. I forgot about this movie. Like John, I hadn't seen this movie, and I'm sure for you too, Patrick, I hadn't seen this since I was like 4 years old. But when I heard hi-ho, and saw the diamonds, like the fucking diamonds, when they're scooping the diamonds out and they're sparkling, I remember getting so hungry for gummies. And I found myself getting hungry for gummies for some reason. Like as a kid, when I used to watch this, I would get so hungry for gummies. I just had like, as soon as that song started, I was starting to drift off. I was eating lunch while I was watching it. And as soon as Hi-Ho started, I was in. I was looped back in. Walt Disney, hook, line, and sinker, reeled me back in. Holy shit, dude. That's the power of music. Oh,
have
that
a
was my
question.
other note for this movie. The orchestra, like the soundtrack, was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It told the whole story. It was incredible.
The whole
The
sound
dwarves
design.
when they mine, what are they? Who are they mining for? Are they like what are they mining?
Yes.
Where are those? Where is that going to? Are they just like a middleman or a contractor, or they just mining because they're dwarf? Like what's going on there?
Well, I think they were based off the late J.R.R. Tolkien's dwarves from The Lord of the Rings.
Did that
who
movie come out in
value
1937?
precious.
Or did that book?
Yes, it actually did with Frodo Baggins. I already forgot his name.
Frodo Baggins?
Samwise Gamgee?
Samwise?
Elijah Wood? What do you say?
What are you talking about?
What's his name? The guy who played Frodo.
Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood, yeah. It came out in 1937. But he was basing it off of those dwarves who value precious minerals and everything over, all other
Are those
materials.
dwarves that work at like Gringotts? Are those dwarves? Or are they like
No,
goblins?
those
The
are
Lord of the Rings came out
trolls.
in 1954, bitch.
Oh no,
fuck.
Christian's completely just talking his ass.
I was banking on the fact that it came out before then, though.
No, because wait, I don't know. But I have that in my notes too, where I was like, they're just throwing these, who are these gems for? They're just mining the gems to mine the gems?
Because they just love them. They're pretty.
But they don't even spend them on anything. They're not anywhere in their house. It'd be different if they were
The
like,
house is shit.
But that's
Yeah.
how they eventually go to town and buy stuff with them.
okay,
I don't know. I'm
No,
trying
listen,
to
I
build
love
the
it.
lore.
I love it, dude.
There's a few funny things also, like how Snow White thinks that this is a house of children, and she's like, "Oh, poor children," and then when she sees that it's full-grown men or dwarf men,
Yeah,
she still treats them like children.
of course.
But
Well, they live
love
like
it.
children.
They're like, yes,
Yeah.
finally. It's like the Lost Boys' mother, like where it's like, oh, mother.
Dude, I thought that too. It's very Lost Boys.
I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that they reused her dancing with Dopey in both Peter Pan and Robin Hood. Like, just talking about them, like, because I know that they would reuse cells, and I'm pretty sure that they reused those cells
Interesting.
in both Robin Hood and Peter Pan.
I believe it.
Curious
Did
to
you
check
guys-
that out.
Did you guys
Someone
see the
is looking
turtle?
at that.
The turtle getting a blowjob?
I'm curious to see how
What?
how this connects up, but I love it. Keep
Dude,
going.
okay, maybe I was hoping one of you noticed this. Maybe my mind is just so in the gutter, but there's when all the animals are like cleaning up, there's this shot where they're washing like clothes on washboards,
Oh,
and this squirrel this squirrel or a chipmunk is washing a sleeve of a shirt on a turtle's stomach.
Okay.
And the shirt is the same color as the turtle's stomach. And he's just going up and down with his butt in the turtle's face. And the turtle has this ecstatic look on his face as the chipmunk is going up and down with his head going up and down with the sleeve. Again, it could just be my mind.
I'm
totally
pretty
in the
sure.
gutter. But I saw it and I was like, no, the animator who made this definitely was like, yeah, dude, this chipmunk is totally blowing this turtle.
It wouldn't be the first time. I mean, there's historically all those things that are snuck in. And I mean, I think like most of the animators, apparently one of the lead animators, I think it might have been the one that married the Snow White stand-in. He would hold like naked women drawing sessions at his house all the time, like drawing the models. So it's like, and then
He
they had
definitely
one guy
animated
who was known
that.
for drawing nude comics of women. So it's like these dudes are pervs and womanizers. So the fact that anything like that would sneak into these films and had continuously, even up, I mean, it wasn't the same guys, but the energy was still there with like even like Sex in the Sky of Lion King.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Dude, I went back because I saw it at a glimpse when I was first watching it. And then I went back and watched it again. I was like, I'm pretty sure this was intentional. This chipmunk blowing the turtle. So everybody,
That's possible.
just keep an eye out.
That's possible.
Chipmunks blowing turtles. It happens.
And then they both wind up in the shell together, I'm pretty sure, right after that.
Oh, yeah. But you can't see what's going on in the shell.
You can't. You
You know what they say, when the shells are rocking, don't come a-knocking.
I did like a lot of the kind of slapsticky gags of the cleaning. It's just like I don't know, like a lot of the old time animation stuff always had that, like the squirrels sweeping under the rug, and she's like, no,
Yeah, don't
and
do
then they're
that.
like, oh, it's sweeping in this hole, and then they do that, and then the
when
mouse is there,
the
and you
little
yell at
mouse?
them, like there's
Oh.
just stupid gags like that. Just remind me of like Tom and Jerry, or just like, I mean, any animation.
Yeah. And like the little spider coming out when they're trying to clean up the cobwebs.
I love
And they
that
make the
spider.
spider so cute. He's got a little head. It's just
Yeah,
like,
he's got
that's
yeah.
my web.
I mean, it's funny because kind of talking off like that it being like a showcase where it's like it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, but like the Snow White is like really minimized. I mean, she's not but it's not about her. It's about like the woodland creatures. They get the most expressive faces. It's about the dwarves, and it's about how creepy the bad guy, the evil queen, is. You know, because
I mean,
I don't know.
Snow White sucks.
Snow White
like.
does.
So
suck.
let me lay this out, how this all happens. They tell her, you shouldn't talk to strangers, so
strangers.
just don't let them in the house.
let them
Don't
in the
talk to
house.
strangers. Just don't talk to strangers again.
Please
And don't let them in the house.
Don't let them in
And
the
then
house.
they go to work the next morning, and before those guys even get to work, she's already let someone in the house and has taken food from her and is now dead. It's just like, I mean, she's supposed to be naive,
Oh
but
my
like, oh my god, like that's the climactic moment.
And
That's
they-
the climax, is that this girl is such an idiot that she took
She's just like,
candy from a
But dude,
stranger.
okay.
That's not her worst trait, though. Her worst trait is how needy she is. Because she says in her song, she's like, I'll see my prince again, and then the wedding bells will ring. Imagine when she sings that the first time for the prince, who's just trying to get his dick wet. And she sings that, and he's like, you want to move in? I wasn't, no, dude, well, you can stay at the cottage with the dwarves, but, like, moving in, let's put some brakes on that. Let's pump the brakes.
Because
Yeah,
you know what?
also, I'm 38 and you are 14. I'm loving what we got going, but let's hold off a little bit, okay?
'Cause
I mean, he's straight up courted her though.
True, but he was trying to get his dick wet. I mean, that was the vibe I got.
I mean, he's definitely like, and that's like the prince or the guy sees the lady and is like, oh, I'm gonna duet with this bitch. Here we go, duet, boom,
As
boom,
you do.
boom, and then duet. Now we're in love, and that's all it takes, baby. They didn't even say a single word to each other. They're
No,
just
they sang.
they're like
they
boom,
just-
duet, which is like
Oh.
10 times the talking.
And they
But yeah, just-
whistled.
just hits home that fact that the human character, I mean, the witch and the evil queen are very interesting. But is his name Prince Charming? Who is he?
Does he have a name? Does anybody get a name in this movie? No.
I think his name is Prince Charming. I think honestly I think it is Prince Charming. I think
no,
it is.
he's just Snow White's prince is the prince. Boom.
Oh, really? Was Prince Charming Sleeping Beauty?
No, hold on, Prince Charming. No.
Do a
Sleeping
Google.
Beauty.
Do a Google.
Sleeping Beauty's name is Aurora.
Okay.
Not Eric. Eric is Little Mermaid. Prince Alex? That's not right.
Is it Florian?
No, it's got to be something really regal, like Constalada.
Sleeping Beauty's prince.
Cheltandabal.
Oh, it's Philip. Prince Philip.
Philip.
What about?
I guess that's okay.
Snow White.
Snow White. It's the prince. I just looked it up.
Oh, that's
Oh, Snow White is just the prince. Okay.
Well, and the evil queen's name is Evil Queen. It's like how she is shoehorned. She doesn't have a chance, man. If her name is Evil Queen, she's got no other choice but to be evil. Not fair, bro.
Her parents were like, "What should we name her?"
Evil
Well,
Queen.
our last name is Queen. Let's name her Evil. Well, honey, don't you think she's kind of destined to do terrible things? No, I've always liked the name Evil. It sounds really nice. It's got a nice ring to it.
It'll give her something to work past. She'll live past evil.
What did you guys think of the Huntsman?
That's a sexy ass bowl cut, is what I thought.
Dude, I think
I remember really liking his knife as a kid. I don't know why, but like, I just really like.
It's because it gleams. I know what you're talking
so
about.
Good.
It does. I know what you're talking about. I was a big fan of swords as a kid in movies. Just like when is it Sleeping Beauty that he fights the dragon?
Yes.
And he's got a really cool sword.
Yes.
I always wanted that sword so bad.
God.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Prince Philip's a badass. Let's watch that one next.
Dude. Yeah.
let's just turn into a Disney
podcast.
Guys, let's watch it right now. On the podcast.
Complete swerve. People are like, why is this episode 2 hours and 10 minutes?
only Disney all the time. Only Disney.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that was something that watching this movie is like, oh, she doesn't even know this dude. Like, they duetted once. She hid from him, and
All bashful like.
yeah,
They did share a kiss via pigeon.
great. I still don't buy it, bro. I still don't buy it.
Well, also she knew the dwarves for on all of 12 waking hours, or like 12 like
Yeah.
years of sleep.
What's the timeline of this? How long did it
The
take?
timeline is she got there that night. They got there. She cleaned up and made them dinner, and they cleaned up. And then they were like, "You can sleep in our bed." She's like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's okay." And she's like, "Are you sure though?" And then it's just like this back and forth.
Also, she only
then
uses
she's-
3 beds. She only uses
Yeah,
3
three.
beds, and they could split that up. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like she needed all 7.
But then we wouldn't have had the 5-minute sequence of dwarf sleeping gags.
but they could still use pillows and stuff. Make it like a high school house party, dude. Like
They
everybody.
had the one pillow though, and it got destroyed.
Fools.
The next day they're coming home from work. Hi ho,
Hi-ho.
bukkake time, let's go.
Oh my!
I can't whistle. Help me whistle. Hi ho, bukkake time, let's go.
Are you saying the cocky time or bukkake time?
Bukkake.
Okay.
Bukkake.
Okay, I'm just
Bukkake time.
making sure. Just making
I
sure.
hope.
Classic gentlemanly exercise.
So this,
I do like the idea that all the dwarves are banging each other. That's why they're safe.
I think that's
Yeah.
my favorite version.
Is
That's
that your head
Yeah.
cannon?
that's
Yes.
what I want. Cause I
Yep.
like to imagine just a bunch of gay dudes out in the woods. They're doing their own thing. They're getting their gems. They're like, oh, this nice sweet girl made us like. I just like that better than
Yeah, she feels
possible.
safe with them.
Yeah,
Which I felt safe with them, like throughout
I
the
felt
movie.
safe
Like
with
I
them.
never felt once like there was something weird. Like there was a very motherly, maternal relationship. There was no,
There was Doc, but
I don't remember.
besides that, I think they just adored her because she was royalty and just this like a sweet girl. There's like that paternal thing.
I don't remember Doc's
No
little speech
bukkake.
impediment. No, only with each
Yeah.
other, dude. Only with each other is that
only with
there.
each other. Yeah.
Um,
I was really bothered that she called dinner supper. That really bothered me. I don't know why. It's dinner, dude. I don't like it. Minor note.
I don't like yeah, I mean
that's
I prefer dinner over supper. I don't like pea. Like I don't like that word, like hard peas and words. Like
Yeah.
supper.
supper.
Yeah.
Or like people will say pack of something. It's like, oh, don't call it a pack.
Or like
I don't know.
A pair
Oh,
of
God.
pants.
I mean that's fine.
penis.
What else are you gonna say?
Damn.
Penis.
A set of
Oh,
squanches. Damn it.
Were you doing a Chris D'Elia
I don't.
Eminem there? Did I hear that correct?
No.
did I
correct you,
channel it?
Christian?
I
think
love
you did.
Crystal
Did you do that unconsciously?
Penis.
Subconsciously?
I'm on Venus, scratching my penis. On my weenus, that's my elbow. Hell no. Sorry, gotta stop. Anyways, getting back to the podcast, I got another good point. What did you guys think of her singing voice?
It's interesting.
I mean, it wasn't like beautiful, and like the when she's twittering with the birds back and forth, I kind of laughed.
It's a
I thought
product
that
of the
was more
times.
humorous.
It's
Yeah.
very much a product
Yes.
of the times because that was like the Betty Boop. The Betty Boop.
Yeah, dude, the vibrato is so weird. It's a very different vibrato. It's less chesty and more like head vibrato, if that makes sense. Maybe it's the mic they were using, but it's like weird. It strained my ears. It was like it was just like pigeony. Sounded
I
like
mean, a huge component of that had to be the sound quality and equipment they're using.
yeah. It was very strange, and it sounded like she probably had a very normal. Whoever the voice actor was, probably had a very normal voice, but she was doing this like, oh, hey, what? I sound like Mickey Mouse. Incidentally,
Here's
hey, I
the
love
Disney
you."
sound.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't like it, dude. I thought it was so. When she sang, it was tough. It was tough.
You
I
want to
don't
talk
know.
about it?
Yeah, tell us how you feel,
That's
bud.
it?
That's it. Okay.
Dude, I thought it was a weird vibrato. It was just like a weird singing voice. I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it. It could have been the mic. It could have been what the recording equipment they had at the time.
I mean,
Probably
I really just think it's the.
recording on a Blue Yeti on GarageBand or something like that.
Yeah. It was
Just
was
so it
jarring.
have a SoundCloud. That'd be funny.
oh my god.
She would fit in with some atmospheric stuff. Like she'd
Yeah.
put a vocal pack out or something.
Speaking of atmosphere, have you? I know you haven't, but Patrick, have you been to Disney World?
In the past 4 years, yes.
Okay, yeah. So like, there's so many aspects of this movie Snow White that felt like a dark ride, like a Disney dark ride.
Yeah.
Like the atmospheric, like puppets moving, or like the I don't know, like on or Splash Mountain, how you're going through and there's like the musical bits and all the gags going on. Like this movie just felt like a dark ride in terms of the things, like the organ, the piano organ, with the things that are flapping out.
Mhm.
That felt like ripped off from a Disney ride. Like it was really interesting and made me want to go to Disney World. By the way, I was supposed to go to Disney World, but COVID-19 destroyed those plans.
Thanks, COVID.
So that made this extra like, I need Disney. I need to go to Disney World.
There's something
Dude,
really
Disney
nice and
is so
safe
wholesome.
about it. Like
Yeah.
about the way that like I don't know if it's curated or maybe if it's like a nostalgia over time, but there is just something nice about the way that a Disney thing makes you feel in a weird way, and especially it's like really apparent in this where it's like again talking about the texture where like I don't know, it feels warm and full.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
yeah.
My the stuff I have playing in the background has gone away from Snow White and it's played Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, and the animation looks great, but there is definitely missing that like warmth, handmade, like right now there's Little Mermaid playing, and it looks like really clean animation, like it's great, but it just feels like a cartoon like animation.
Yeah.
Where when you look back at the Snow White stuff, it feels handcrafted.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's weird because so you guys talk about the last time, and I'm pretty sure this is right, but the last time that I watched this movie before the rewatch was like on a VHS in Cape Cod. We were on like vacation there for some reason. And like we rented a house and there was like a bunch of old movies on VHS, Snow White, 2000 Leagues Under the Sea, or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And it's just like, that was like my, like, I remember it was the last year that I played Little League. So it was like my last summer as a kid where everything was like planned out and I got to go everywhere. And like, I don't know. So it reminded me of my perfect summer.
So just good feeling.
Yeah, just good
Yeah.
feelings.
Same for me, like I touched on earlier. When I saw those gems, it just made me want gummies. Because when they're mining those gems, it just like, as a kid, I just wanted to eat gummies. And it was back at a simpler time when life wasn't about money and like paying bills and shit. And it was just about like swords and gummies. And mostly
Swords and
gummies. And just gummies, and thinking about gummies, and just like for the first time in like 25 years, I was like craving gummies.
You could
And
rip
just
open
that
some gummies with your
warmth-
teeth.
You gonna do
Yeah.
something about that?
Yeah. Oh,
Something about
are
just
you gonna
chewing on some
Appreciate
gummies.
that? Yeah.
dude.
I do have some. I have some gummies right here by my desk. So.
Dude, John, don't ruin it. I don't want your THC weed gummies. I want like
What?
I want
No, it's,
wholesome gummies.
It's Norwegian gummies.
Everybody-
and it's called Gomp, and it's got a chicken.
Wait, are they the penis-shaped ones?
No, there's no penis-shaped ones. There's little men, and then they have women. They came out with women gummies, and they have boobs.
Oh, dude, yes. Side
They called
note,
them boobie ladies.
John-
Is what we
John's-
called them.
John is our resident Norwegian, and when his mom would come back from Norway, I remember she brought back these penis-shaped gummies, and they were hilarious, and I thought they were so funny, because she gave them to us when we were, like, in 3rd grade. I thought it was
like the Norwegian sense of humor, like butt, dick, and fart and poop jokes. It's just peak comedy for Norwegians.
Dude, it's so
It's so funny.
Isn't that where the penis museum is?
No,
Or is-
maybe. I mean, Scandinavia probably is.
Maybe it's in
generic
Iceland.
Good guess.
Before, like I have a couple of weird things that, again, it's a simple movie, it's a simpler time. But I have a couple like thoughts is like why didn't the queen just straight up murder poison her? Like why give her the option to get true love's kiss or whatever? Like why not just straight up murder
What are
poison
the
her?
chances? And she didn't know.
She saw.
guess.
She
And-
creeped. She creeped and she saw.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Huh.
She's a powerful woman. She should just like finish her.
Yeah, there's no explanation. I mean, she could have killed her very easily in many ways. Apparently, in the actual fairy tale, she tries 3 different methods, and that the apple is the last method she tries that succeeds.
And every
But I don't think there's any explanation besides fairy tale and just like cute, quirky fairy tale things.
I guess.
I don't know why did
I don't know.
3 billy goats have to cross a bridge, and why was there a troll underneath it?
I mean, you're right. I'm just saying. It just is like. I'm not saying that there's a way around it, but it's just like just kill her. Just kill her, boo.
Because it would be way cooler if she had poison dripping off the apple that formed in the shape of a skull. Which was pretty
That
cool.
was cool.
That looked
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to JT Music, because I totally saw an opportunity for JT Music themed apples right there. Just
Merch.
saying. Yeah, merch opportunity.
Merch
Not
selling at
poison.
God Church.
Not poison. Not poison apples.
Not poison, but if you're lucky, you get the poison apple.
I was thinking of God
And
Church.
then-
I was like, where did I hear that before?
Dude, and
then-
here's the thing. You get the poison apple, and then the only way you can be brought back to life is if JT Music comes to your house and
Okay.
kisses you, and brings
Okay.
you back to life. So you get a kiss. So you temporarily die, but you come back to life. Sorry,
Both of you
I'm
have
going
to
down
kiss.
a rabbit hole.
Both of you guys have to kiss him at the same time.
Yeah, all lips interconnected.
I mean, I'll speak for myself. I'd buy that apple. I'd buy that poison apple. Excuse me. Oh, you've got one taker over here. Please put me to sleep. Kiss me on the mouth. Let's go.
Sound like a newsreel dude from the 1920s.
Hi, JT Music Apple's here for you. 1 in a million will be poisoned, and they'll have to come and kiss you to wake up.
It's like Willy Wonka's, but don't get
But
poisoned.
they put you to sleep and then have to
Dude,
kiss
I-
you.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a role to be in this movie, it would be Prince Charming or whatever his name is, the Prince, because he literally did nothing except sing and kiss the girl. He didn't fight the witch. He didn't do anything.
He barely
That's
sung,
like-
too.
That's every man's dream come true.
Sing
I
and
don't
kiss
have
the
to do
girl.
anything except kiss the girl. That's awesome. And then she cleans up your house. That's
I like the speaking of people doing things, I like the implication, like the evil queen essentially killed herself by being reckless and
So stupid.
destructive. But I like the idea of the dwarves, how they all go up there and they're looking down, and like I just like that pause, like, did we kill her? Like, did we do this? Like, I like the implication that they murdered someone and they didn't mean to, or something. Like, they're such wholesome, good guys, and they were going after her with billy clubs. Like, what would they have done? Would they have like beat this woman down?
They'd have been like, no, you stop it, you.
Dude, they totally I didn't remember what happened when they were going after her. I was like, wait, are they gonna fucking beat her to death?
Well,
Holy shit.
we have the beginning of the Disney having the antagonist fall off of something instead of having the protagonist kill them so they can maintain their innocence, which happens over and over and over again all the time.
But then we have Scar
I have a list.
pushing Mustafa. Little twist, little wrinkle in that formula.
Well, but Scar also falls off of the thing. He falls
Yeah,
off,
true.
and then the other people eat him. Beauty and the Beast, Gaston falls. Up, the bad guy from Up, Charles Mintz, he falls.
He falls?
Yeah,
Huh.
dude. And then Tarzan, Clayton, the bad guy with the shotgun, he falls and hangs himself, and he's like, lightning, you see his feet dangling.
Damn. Oh, dude. Side
Hunchback
note,
of-
have you
Hunchback of
you
Notre
guys have
Dame?
seen Neverending Story, right?
I haven't.
I mean, I have watched it. but I don't.
I
I
have
was-
seen
I
the
was so young.
scene. I have seen the scene in the
Dude,
swamp.
when Artax dies?
Yeah, I've seen that
Dude,
scene. I don't have any
I-
context for it though.
Oh, fuck, dude. That shit fucked me up as a kid, and I watched that movie again for anybody who's seen Neverending Story. That movie is way too dark for children. It's fucking dark. It's about losing your sense of wonder and imagination and just like, oh, it's fucked. And when, oh, dude, I cried as a child. I cried as an adult. I watched it a couple nights ago. It fucked me up.
The secret's-
Anyways,
Artax the
that wasn't
horse?
Disney, though. What's that, John?
Shadowfax.
No, not Shadowfax.
show us the
Artax.
meaning of
Skipping
haste.
through the footage. This looks dark and sad. Damn.
That movie scared me. There was people I never saw it, or maybe if I did, I don't remember it because it
I
scared
never
me.
watched it because I was afraid of it never ending and being stuck watching a story that never ends. Like, I was legitimately afraid that it was actually a never-ending story.
No, the ending is beautiful. It's just it honestly, that movie is really dark. It's especially for kids. Like a kids movie. It's dude.
What's the
And the
secret of
soundtrack.
To wrap it up, I think I have not really a segment, but which dwarf do you identify with, or do you feel encompasses
Ooh.
you and your energy?
Ooh. Wait, what are their names again? I gotta Google
I'll go
this.
right off the. So we have Doc, Grumpy, Sleepy, Sneezy, Dopey, Bashful.
who else is there? What are the dwarves?
Pull it up. But I know I know who I am. I'm definitely Sneezy. I get really bad allergies
Okay.
that last for about 4 to 5 months. and I sneeze relentlessly, and it's kind of like my brand, I guess, amongst all the people that know that know me. So I would say sneezy for sure. Yeah, the hay fever,
Yeah.
I get you.
I liked how they validated it. They were like, I have hay fever.
Yeah, he has a reason. So it's sneezy, sleepy, happy, doc, grumpy, dopey, doc, bashful.
Okay. Wait, why are there 2 docs?
He might have just read it out of order or something. There's just
Oh.
one doc.
I'm looking at no, John. I'm looking
know.
at the same image, and there's
We're looking
2
at the same
docs.
picture.
Yeah.
Someone put doc twice.
I just pulled it up. There's 2 docs. Sneezy, sleepy, happy, doc, grumpy, dopey, doc, bashful. Okay, I'm gonna have to say I'm dopey, because I'm a little behind the curve, but I'm still lovable.
Okay.
And I definitely look the most like Cameron Diaz, or I would like to think I do.
You know what? I would support that. I support that you looking like Cameron Diaz.
Oh, thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna beat off to myself in the mirror tonight.
I really loved you in The Mask.
Yeah, I really liked your. You did a good job in Gangs of New York. Great movie.
You did. I mean, people bashed you for your accent, but I thought that you did a great job.
Oh, thanks, guys. That means a lot. That was a tough role to take on, but that means a lot.
As for mine, man, maybe either Happy or Doc. I'm gonna go with Doc because sometimes I think I have the right words, but much like Doc, I flip them around and don't say them the right way. Because he did that a lot.
I was about to say which doc. The picture we're looking at, there are 2 docs.
The one on the right. The one on the right.
Okay, gotcha.
Why
gotcha.
does this exist? It's the first result too.
The one on
It's
the
on
most
Pinterest.
right.
Dude, that was just so funny when you read that off, and I read it off as you were reading it, and I was like, it took me a minute to register. Wait,
Oh, there
there's-
are 2 docs. I think I
there's
see what
2
you're saying.
docs.
Oh, I think this is a.
It's a
this is
shirt.
Spanish.
It's like a
That-
shirt.
okay.
Spanish names of them.
Quick side note, that was a really funny gag that I loved in this movie was when Doc was mixing up his words. That was
Yeah.
was
I
good.
didn't remember
It
that.
came across as so genuine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like it was happening in the moment that it wasn't written out. I guess,
Mhm.
which just means it was well done.
I mean, we're running out of time, but I just wonder what would the world look like if this movie flopped? Like,
I don't
what
know.
if Disney
If
failed?
it flopped?
Yeah.
Well, fast forward to Princess and the Frog. That's the last major 2D animation movie Disney did, and that flopped. And then Tangled and Frozen came out, and now we're full on 3D animation.
3D forever. I don't know. I like.
But in terms of
Princess
just
the
what
Frog
if
a lot.
this flopped and there was no Disney, who knows?
Yeah.
Wait,
What if
dude,
there's no
there's
Disney?
a
What does the
quick
world
pun-
look like?
Quick pun insertion, because of this movie, Princess and the Frog didn't flop, it hopped. I had to plug that. Sorry. I just
was
had
good.
to do
By
that.
hopped, you
It was
mean
there.
it was able to exist? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that was a great
I
film.
love that
like
movie.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
Truly a shame. It didn't do very well.
What would Disney be without this?
What would the world
Huh.
look like without
What
Disney?
would the world be?
I
I
don't
mean, the impact is immense in the world of entertainment and how entertainment impacts us on our everyday life.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane to.
I mean, someone else
You
would have filled that
obviously
void, but like it touches on so much stuff that we do, like just our language. I would say even.
Yeah. Very interesting thing to ponder.
Yeah. Hey, you guys ponder on it too as we get out of here. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter at stinky underscore podcast. And
Yeah, we had to switch it up. Just a little quick thing. So we had at Sneaky Podcast, but then I was like, oh, let's make the birthday of the podcast.
it was
when the
cute. I loved
podcast
it.
launched.
It was a great idea.
And then Twitter was like, oh, we don't allow 10-year-old babies to be having Twitter accounts. And then they locked it down. And it was taking too long to get back, so we made a new Twitter thing called at Stinky underscore podcast.
Which has been the podcast for a while now by the time this comes out. But
Oh, yeah.
hit us there.
Old news.
Tell us what you think we should watch next. Pitch us your movie. Tell us your favorite cliche.
Yeah. I also want to do table readings, like write a script or pull up
Yeah.
a script or fan fiction. That'd be fun to do.
Oh my god, that'd be so
Um,
fun.
But next week we're watching Memento,
Ooh, by Chris
so that'll be a fun
Chris
one.
Nolan,
Yeah,
the Batman.
It's the movie told in reverse, I guess, is the quickest and easiest,
Dude, no
simplest way
spoilers.
to put it.
Bruh. Well,
Was that a spoiler?
maybe.
No, it's not. It's just
like a horseshit.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
was like, wait,
it's kind of
is that the
known
whole
going
premise?
into it. It's not chronological,
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
would hope that people would find out for themselves.
which is why I said don't.
Tattoo it on your body so you remember.
Okay, if you haven't
All right,
seen
we're
Memento,
losing them.
Okay,
Watch Memento so that when we talk about it, you're along with us for the ride. It's a good movie.
And-
I promise you'll enjoy it. It's something fresh. Any last words? How do you want to sign off?
as they say in Orlando, you want to buy some perfume samples?
that was really misogynistic.